have you ever had someone suggest a game or even something like a movie and you in your head go, no, I don't like that game, I don't like that movie, but you definitely do? I'm not the only one who does that, right? Please tell me I'm not the only one who does that. What's up, everybody? My name is Nick Murphy. I'm one half of the Brothers Murph, and this is going to be some games that I have convinced myself I don't like. I've convinced myself I hate these games, and I'm full of crap. I'm absolutely wrong. I definitely like these, and I might have forgotten that I like them, or sometimes I'm just straight up delusional about it. And I'm pretty sure everyone has things like that. You kind of just convinced yourself you don't like this thing for various different reasons, but you definitely do. And so you shouldn't like deny yourself that thing, right? And so that's what I'm gonna talk about today with these games, because I know I'm not the only one who does this. And everyone down in the comments, be real with yourself. Be real, look into your heart, and ask yourself, what's a game that I think I don't like, but I definitely do like? Let's get into mine. So my number 5 is going to be Scythe. I definitely like Scythe. I like Scythe a lot. It's a big game, and I know sometimes some of you are going to be like, Bros Murph, I've heard you talk about these games in top 10s. There's no way you don't like them. But this is all in my head. This is all like in my head. When someone throws out this game, in my head, I go like, nah, I don't really like that game. And I go, nah, I don't really want to play. Let's play something else. But I definitely do like it. I think with Scythe, the reason why I don't like it is because the reason I think I don't like it is because it's a big game. It's a big game. It's a big sprawling game. It's got like a lot going on. There's a lot of different things you can do in the game, and I'm not particularly great at it. And so I think because I'm always like, I don't want to like deal with this humongous game. I'm not very good at this game. People are very, very good at Scythe. It can be a bit of a long game. And so I think for all of these reasons, I've kind of in my head just made me think that I don't like Scythe. With Scythe also, Mike, my brother, he has cooled on Scythe quite a bit. He used to like Scythe probably even more than me, and he has just naturally cooled on the game quite a bit. And I think with him cooling on it, it's made me feel like I've necessarily cooled on it, and I don't think I've cooled on it nearly as much as him. I still really, really like Scythe. I think just a lot of times it's just a little too big, a little too much, and I know I'm not very good at it, and so I would rather play something else, but then in my head, I then convince myself that I don't want to play it because I don't like it. And I don't think that's true. I still really like Scythe. I enjoy the mechanism. I enjoy the stuff you can do. I enjoy the different factions and the pairings up with like the board and the factions. I enjoy all that stuff, but I always think that I don't enjoy it. It's really, really weird, but I don't know. My number 5 is Scythe. This whole list is going to be weird and kind of a weird look into my brain where sometimes you just, I don't know, you just convince yourself you don't like something. My number 5 is Scythe. I definitely like it, but I don't know, sometimes I feel like I don't. Number 4 is a game that really confuses me when I get in my head that I don't like this game. This is 5 Tribes, because I know that I, in my head, think that 5 Tribes is a masterpiece. But so often, when it comes down to like, hey, let's play 5 Tribes, in my mind, I just go like, you know what, I don't think I like 5 Tribes that much. And I definitely do. And this is one, like, for most of the other entries in this list, I have like reasons of like, I think this is why I don't think I like this game. Like with Scythe, I had a lot of reasons, like, it's big, I'm not very good at it, da da da. With 5 Tribes, I legitimately do not know why in my head a lot of times I go like, I don't like that game nearly as much as I used to, or I don't like that game nearly as much as everyone else, when I definitely do. Every single time we break out 5 Tribes, I'm always just like, man, this is a masterpiece. Like, this is a straight up a masterpiece. It's this great Moncala game where you're picking up these workers and dropping them off, and then whatever tile you land on, you get to take all the meeples of one color and you get to activate that tile. It's so good. It's so intricate, super simple ultimately in terms of what you're doing. And 5 Tribes is so good, and yet so often when it comes down to it, it's not even so much that I'm just like, I'd rather play something else. I always am like, nah, I don't really want to play 5 Tribes because I don't really like 5 Tribes that much, or I don't like it as much as I used to. And I don't think that's correct. I think that I like it just as much as I always have. I just have this weird block against it in my head, and I don't really know why. Again, all the other ones have some reason to it. This one really doesn't. I honestly don't know why. Sometimes, and I know Mike has expressed this too, where he has mentioned, like, yeah, when I told him about this list, he was like, 5 Tribes is one of those for me. And I was like, freaking me too. So, I don't know. Sometimes I convince myself I don't like 5 Tribes. In reality, 5 Tribes is a masterpiece. Number 3 is Whistle Mountain. Number 3 is Whistle Mountain. Whistle Mountain is a really, really fun game that can be pretty mean. And I think the reason why I've convinced myself I don't like Whistle Mountain is because it can be very mean. We actually just recently played Whistle Mountain, and that and then the next entry in this list are the reasons why I thought of doing this video and why I kind of wanted to bring up how silly our minds can be sometimes. Because we recently replayed Whistle Mountain because we hadn't played it in a long time. Because again, I was always like, I don't want to play it because like I don't really like that game. And I was just like, wow, I really, really like Whistle Mountain. But Whistle Mountain is a game where you are putting out your airships and getting supplies. You're getting like, you know, your classic, you're getting stone, you're getting water, you're getting metal, things like that. And you're then building this scaffolding. You're building scaffolding up in this big canyon. At the bottom of the canyon is a river that's going to be slowly flooding over the course of the game. And you're building up scaffolding in this river. And then you're going to be putting different machines onto that scaffolding. And then when you put your airship adjacent to one of those machines or on one of those machines, you then get to activate it, which is going to do a whole bunch of different stuff. The thing about this game is this game can be pretty darn mean because you are building up scaffolding, but you don't like own the scaffolding. Anyone can build on any scaffolding. And you're also putting your meeples on scaffolding. And people then go like, cool, thanks for building that scaffolding. Boom, I'm going to put a machine there. And you're kind of like, but I wanted to put a machine there. I built that for me, but I didn't have enough building actions or enough materials to build it right now or what. Oh gosh, I needed to do that. And so it can be really mean. We were kind of like, thanks, boom. And the first time we played it, we didn't realize how mean it could be. And then we played it again and again, kind of were like, okay, cool, this is mean, but like we can kind of get with it. But I think then there was this really long gap when we played it. And I think in my head, I had made it out that it was like this mean, this horrendous, like the meanest game on the planet. And it definitely is not that. It can be mean, but it's one of those games where it's like, as long as you know that going into it, it's not that bad at all. But in my head, I've convinced myself that I don't like the game. I think mostly because of how mean it can be. And then we played it again and I was like, wow, I really like this game. Like this game a lot. And Mike has always been hotter on this game than I have. I've kind of been the one who's always like, I don't really like Whistle Mountain. I don't really like Whistle Mountain. But it's really, really fun. It's really, you can build these kind of really asymmetric characters where you're, not characters, I guess, but you can get different asymmetric abilities. It's got a lot going on. It's super, super fun. And yet I've just convinced myself I don't like it. And we played it recently, so hopefully I can keep in my mind now that I do indeed like it, so we don't go like 2 years again without playing it. But Whistle Mountain's on number 3. I really like this game, but man, I think I made it out to be worse in my head than it actually is. Number 2 is going to be Paleo. Paleo is a very weird game. It's a very good game, but this is a game, it's a co-op game where you're just trying to survive. You're kind of like the Neanderthal caveman era, and you're basically trying to survive. And it's a very interesting game because you don't know what's going to happen. And when you first play the game, they kind of teach you a little bit of rules, and then they literally are just like, you'll figure it out. And to be fair, you do figure it out. But basically, you're flipping over a card, or you have a couple cards you can choose from, and you're flipping over. It might be like woods on one side or like the river, and then you flip it over, but you don't know what's on the other side of that card, and it could be a whole bunch of stuff. It could be really good, could be really, really bad. And then you flip it over, and then you have to deal with whatever on that card with your kind of characters that you have, and some are like good at like building, some are good at like observation and stuff. And you basically go through and you're trying to complete a big cave painting. And certain big cards in the decks will have these cave painting cards, but they're kind of tough to do. So that's what you're doing in the game. But it's just this very odd game because you're like, you'll just learn, you'll figure it out. You kind of just don't know what's going to happen in the game. And because of that, and because it doesn't, like I like a lot of board gamers want rules. Like I want specific, you can do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And this game is kind of like, you'll figure it out. And you do, but I think because of that, I've just got in my head that it's like not designed well or not very, very fun. But this is a game kind of like Whistle Mountain that we recently replayed after like years of having it because I had fully convinced myself that I did not like this game. Fully convinced myself. I was like, no, I didn't really like it that one time we played it. I didn't think it was very good. Yeah, it was an interesting concept with like the survival and you kind of don't know what's going to happen, but it's not very good, it's not very good, it's not very good. And then again, I replayed it and I was just like, wow, this is insanely fun. I'm so silly, oh my gosh. It's really, really fun. It's wild how, like, again, it's a pretty simple game, but you just flip over stuff, you just deal with it. But the cool thing is there's all these different modules in the game. So each time you add another module in, and you just kind of figure it out and you just go. And Paleo is really, really interesting, really unique, really fun, tough survival game. That's awesome. And yet I just fully had convinced myself that I hated it. Luckily, we didn't ever cull it. We still had it. I guess because Mike was probably like, no, we should keep it. I think we should play it again, da-da-da-da-da. And we kept it. We recently replayed it. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God we didn't get rid of it, because like I would have expected Paleo to be on the chopping block, to be completely honest, given how my mindset around it was. I really like Paleo. I think it's fascinating. It's a really, really fun game. And again, after we played it, I was like, man, this is great. Oh my gosh, why haven't we played this more? So dumb. Nick, you're a silly, silly man. All right, let's get to number one. Here's the thing. Number one is my own doing. Now, granted, all this is my own doing. My head is messed up. Everyone, we should all get therapy. I'm getting a therapy. You all should do it too. But here's the thing. Number one is my own doing, because me not liking this game started off as like a joke, but then kind of like, I then started actually believing my own joke. This is New Frontiers. New Frontiers is this game. It's a game in the Roll for the Galaxy, Race for the Galaxy, Jump Drive, that huge universe of games that are all kind of similar, and they're all kind of like sequels to each other, but they're all very similar. And there's something about this series of games that I, for whatever reason, haven't played many of them, and it kind of had this block against them. And New Frontiers, our buddy Crook got, and Mike and him played it, and they both loved it, loved it, loved it. And then I, for some reason, just because the three of us are very, very good friends, obviously, and we constantly are joking with each other and kind of ribbing each other, I would always just jokingly say the game was bad, even though I hadn't played it. I would just be like, that game sucks, whatever. Like, you guys like trash games, you're trash people. Just casual talking crap. That's all it is, right? So I would do that constantly, where I would always just trash New Frontiers just for funsies, right? And then I finally played it, and it was good, and I definitely liked it. But I would constantly keep that joke going, where I would always be like, nah, New Frontiers was trash. It was trash. You're trash people for liking trash games. Just being a general D-bag towards my friends and my brother, because that's just how we say we love each other. And so I would constantly trash this game, and I think through my constant joke making fun of this game and saying that it's bad, I convinced myself that it actually is bad, to the point where I actually haven't played it in a while, and I'm aware this game is good. This is a game, again, you're building up, space stuff, you're building up colonies. It's a really good game. All the games in this series apparently are very, very good. I really want to play Roll for the Galaxy, and Mike really loves New Frontiers. He's always trying to get us to play it, and I'm always just like, nah, I don't really like that game. But I think in my head, I need to play it again very soon, because I think I really have started convincing myself that I don't actually like this game. And so this one is my doing. But that's why it's number one, is because like I really in my head don't think I like this game. And I definitely will like this game again. I just have convinced myself that I don't, because I couldn't let a bit go. I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this bit forever, because it's gonna be funny to me forever. And I think it's really, really made me not like this game, which is crap. I do like this game. It's going to be great. New Frontiers is number one. It's all my own doing. And frankly, all of these are my own doing, because my head is silly. And so down in the comments below, again, let me know, is there a game out there, or it could be like a movie, or maybe a book, or a song, or an album, or whatever. Let me know something that you in your head have convinced yourself you don't like for whatever reason. And you definitely do. Let's get real with ourselves. Let's do a little bit of self-healing. And let's talk about the things that we've convinced ourselves that we don't like when we actually do. This is 5 games. There's probably more that I can think of. But nonetheless, this is a silly little list, but I thought it was an interesting topic, where sometimes you think you don't like something, and you definitely do. Thank you so much for watching that weird list where Nick was kind of doing some introspective work. Do some introspective work yourself and let us know what games you've kind of convinced yourself you don't like down in the comments. I want to give a big shout out to our channel sponsors, Restoration Games, Lucky Duck Games, and Board Game Geek. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel, and thank you all for watching this. Love y'all. Bye.